Oh, good morning. So good morning. This practice this morning is going to be what I like to call the mid-week rest. So we're going to need a bolster, a roller, and a chair which is off screen right about here, okay? We're going to start on our backs, legs over bolster, just for a little bit of breath. There we go. Okay, and we can start either legs straight out or legs bent. And in Baddha Konasana, it's totally up to you. Okay. So just getting my mic set up so it's not completely up in my neck. And let's just find your breath. This one will be good for you if you're someone who tends to pack the first part of your week with stuff and then Wednesday you're a little bit, I'm feeling a bit depleted. And then you can coast yourself in through the rest of the week. So while you're here, notice the inhale and the exhale. And notice where you actually feel the breath. So how it's moving in your body. So maybe you feel it coming in through your nostrils. Maybe you feel your rib cage moving. Maybe you have a really subtle experience of your breath and you can feel your lungs moving. Maybe you feel your belly moving or your pelvic floor moving. Maybe you feel none of that moving, but you just know that you're breathing. Just notice what you notice. I like to focus in on where the breath actually is moving or where it's open, as opposed to where it's constricted, because I've noticed that when I teach people to notice where it's open, then the breath becomes more open, right? It's one of those, what you focus on expands. It's not to ignore the other. It's just an interesting experience to play with. And then notice how your day has been with you and you with your day. If you're joining me at 5 a.m. here, then how was your sleep with you? And how were you with your sleep? And do your best to stay with your breath. And if you find that your brain starts to go off and make a list, or you're starting to doze off, come back to your breath. Come back to your inhale, come back to your exhale. Play around with this idea of becoming present to your breathing. It's not bad if you doze off. I mean, if your body needs the rest, then it will doze. But if it's more about your becoming unconscious in sort of an air quotes kind of way, then see if you can pull yourself back to being present. Pull yourself back to your body, feeling your feet, feeling your legs, feeling your pelvis, and your belly and your rib cage. Your arms, your shoulders, your face. And the whole back side of your body touching the floor. And then when you're ready, we're going to take one knee to our belly. So if you're in Baddha Konasana, you can move your legs so one is straight over the bolster, and the other leg is going to come closer towards your belly. And be really gentle with yourself. Hands are interlacing around your leg, or if it's easier, underneath your thigh. And again, just breathe. And then what you'll do is you're going to press your thigh, the one that's encased with your hands. You're going to press that thigh into your hands. Your elbows are going to straighten, but your knee is going to stay the same level of flexion. It's just your hip that's going to extend a bit. And then you're going to relax. And then that leg's going to move into your hands. And then you're going to relax. And the leg is going to press into the hands. And then you're going to relax. Good. Okay. Switch sides now. Another leg. So hands can be around the shin, or they can be around the thigh, whatever is easier on your body. And just easy here, easy breathing. And then press that leg into the hands. And then relax. Press into the hands. And relax. That's it. Into the hands. Good. And relax. Okay. Now let your feet rest on the bolsters for a moment. Easy breathing. And then let's take both legs toward the belly. And as you bring the legs in, let your pelvis stay on the floor. So watch that your pelvis doesn't lift off and there's space between the back of your pelvis or your sacrum and the floor. Make it just a leg bone movement in the pelvis and just grab whatever you can. And if you find that you're limited a little bit in that movement, you can just rest your feet on the bolster instead. Even maybe placing them into Baddha Konasana or back over the bolster. So find whatever makes the most sense for where your leg bone and that movement is at. And if it's available, let's start taking those legs in circles. So as the legs come in toward your belly, that's your exhale. As the legs come away from you, that's your inhale. And let's go the other direction. Just paying really close attention to how those legs are moving in the hips. What's happening in your back, in your jaw, in your face. Easy breathing, super easy. And again, if this is not easy for you, then just let your legs rest on the bolster. Or if one knee to your belly was better, then do that. Okay, lovely. And then rest the feet on the bolsters, take a breather. Okay. So now we're going to take the bolster away from under the legs. And the legs are going to come straight along the floor. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine a crescent moon, so a C shape. We're going to make that position, or we might not make it, but we're going to move in that direction. Okay, so the right leg is going to slide to the right. And while you do that slide, the pelvis is going to stay still. Now, this is a bit more tricky on a carpeted floor. I've got it easy on a cork floor. But keep your pelvis as quiet as you can be. And then have your left leg move in the same direction as the right. But notice what goes on in your back. So notice the amount of movement you've got available. So you might have a ton of movement, but your back or your SI or your shoulders are saying, whoa, hold on a second. So then come on back and find where it actually makes the most sense for your legs to be. And then up here where I'm in Calgary, we get these lovely winters where we have tons of snow on the ground. And we make snow angels. Maybe with you of sand, you guys make sand angels. But the idea is you slide the hand up as if you're making a snow angel. So if it's this arm, it's sliding up along the floor. And again, notice and make sure that you're moving in a range that you're not increasing all sorts of strain. Yeah? So we're finding that place that makes the most sense for you. Maybe you come up alongside the ears. Maybe you even add a side bend. But your body parts are staying on the floor the entire time. And there's no pinching and no strain. None of that. No increase of symptoms. Just a really easy side bend. So find where you are at. Okay. And then the arm comes down. The legs come back. All right, and let's go to the other side. So the left leg slides over. Right leg slides over. Pelvis is staying still. And then the right arm slides up wherever it may land. So maybe you only come up to shoulder height, maybe less than shoulder height, maybe more than shoulder height, maybe all the way alongside your ear. The key is it's not the distance that you go, it's what you're feeling in your body. Yeah? Really easy, easy, easy breath. And then the arm comes down, legs come back, and just take a pause and be here with your breath. And then let's take the left leg toward your belly. We're going to go into a twist. So bringing the right hand onto that left knee, shoulders are staying easy, leg comes across. And then coming on back. And then bring the other leg up. And then come back. Good. And then bring the leg down. Now just rest on your back for a moment and take a notice of how or what you're feeling and if anything new is present. Great. Okay. Bend the knees, roll on over, and we're going to come up into kneeling. So if you need something underneath your knees, we're going to go into gateway pose. So if you need something underneath your knees, then grab that and take one leg out to the side while I fiddle here with the back part of my mic. There we go. Okay, so now we're here. Those toes, my toes tend to point this direction because I'm just taking the legs straight out like so. Yours might not. So wherever it's most comfortable for where that is, right? You can even play around if you wanted to. You can play around with that motion of the leg bone in your hip socket, just getting a sense of where it's all at. Imagine a big, big beach ball rolling over that beach ball to the side. Another side bend. Maybe feeling the points on the bottom of your feet, ball of the foot, base of the pinky toe, center of the heel. Maybe the whole outside edge of your foot's not quite on the ground. So if you can't feel it, just know where it is in space. Those 3 points. Yeah. Maybe. Lots of maybes today, right? Maybe. The arm comes up. And then coming on up. Great. Okay. And other side. All right. And over you go. Over that volleyball. Easy breathing. Noticing your breath. And notice too if you need to force it back to something that's easy. And imagine just coming back to something that's easy and letting your breath respond as opposed to making your breath something easy. Yeah? Okay, good. And then coming on back. Lovely. All right, roller. We're going to come into, where is it? There it is. Okay, we're going to come forward. So we're going to be in child's pose. I'm going to come into a slightly angled way here. And we're going to come into a child's pose with the arms in front, and the roller is going to be pointing out towards 12 o'clock. And then we're going to move the roller to 1 o'clock and then 11 o'clock. So we'll be doing a side bend for each. If you can, keep your bum on your heels. Okay, I know that might not be entirely possible. So you can put a blanket underneath between, like if your hips are coming up, you can put a blanket between your bum and your heels. Okay, here we go. So arms are coming forward. And be aware of your feet so you're not overly squishing them. And then let's take that out towards 1 o'clock. And reach, so I'm going to my right now. And so my left arm is this one here. I'm going to reach a little more with that left arm. But both hands are firm on the roller. And I'm allowing my awareness to be through my whole body. It's one of this, so great when we're going a little slower and more restful to be able to feel that much more clearly. Good. And then we're going to come back. Come back to 12 before moving towards 11. Good. And then over towards 11. And then coming back towards 12. Nice. Good. Now let's come up into hands and knees. We're going to do the roller twist from hands and knees. So one hand comes underneath. And we're just going to take a twist. Now if you do, I think this is often called thread the needle. In yoga, there's a lot of thread the needles in yoga, whether it's through a twist like this or ankle snee, but we're going to be doing the one here. And lots of times we just drop to the floor. And I'd like you to focus more on the twist. So you'll see I'm not changing my orientation of my elbow here. I'm making this more about a rotation. Good. Okay, lovely. And then other side. Let me go this way for you. Good. Nice. Lovely. Okay. Now, let's start to go into a lunge here. Whoops. And drop the roller in the process. So let's bring the self into a lunge. Again, if you need something underneath your knees, then please use that. The knee, is, you see, is starting off further back from the ankle, so that as I come forward, my pelvis is staying level, but my hips and my knees, they're moving me forward so that I then become more perpendicular between the floor and my shin. And then other side. And then from here, we're going to come up into our chair. So grab your chair, or if you'd prefer just to stay seated on the floor, make sure you've got a block or a bolster underneath you, okay? Most people have a difficult time. It's not difficult, but oftentimes their pelvis is coming into quite a bit of a posterior tilt, and then they have to fight a little bit to get themselves to vertical, or they arch their back to get to vertical, and it just doesn't make it as nourishing, I would say. So then find a place that makes sense where you're easily vertical. Hands come together. Let's move into a twist. And then coming on back and move into a twist. And then back. Bring your hands down. Feel the bottoms of your feet. Feel the breath in your body. Coming back to your breathing. And we'll finish up here with a little bit of breath. And while you're noticing your breathing, notice just how you feel, the qualities of what you feel. And if anything is different or new from the beginning of the session. And then take that information as your data. Use that as the gold for your awareness. And you can stay in this position for as long as you'd like. Keep coming back to your breath. Keep coming back to your body. Both of which will help you keep building your ability to be present. Have a really, really, really great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take good care.